Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I am your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew this side of Starfleet Command, coming up with a plan to keep Jean-Luc Picard retired once and for all.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about whether we really want that or not. I think the majority, I don't know. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. That's why we're doing this episode tonight.
There's a lot to talk about.
There is. Yeah. I was gonna say Vice Admiral Eric is here, but he is not. He got caught like buffing out the nacelle on the Enterprise D. Got busy, got distracted. That thing needed some work, and he ain't making it tonight. So we'll see him next week. Commander Hawk is here and says, never mind the D. He still wants to know what the fuck happened to the Enterprise E, as do we all.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true. Yep. I do want to know, like, I still say it's ramming speed. Like, he saw Jean-Luc do it, right? In Nemesis, right? And then he's like, oh, if he could do it and not destroy it, I could do it and not destroy it. And he done destroyed it. But
he takes a very Shaxx attitude towards combat.
He does. It's so true. And Commander MC is here. Definitely one of the chair people in charge of keeping Jean-Luc Picard retired.
You're damn right.
On that board of inquiry. Welcome back, guys. How we doing?
Okay.
We're doing all right. Lots of love for my cat in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Our cold snap finally broke, so we're
oh, good for you. Our snow is
now.
starting in about 8 hours. The school's already canceled tomorrow. It's great.
40.
Commander Giraffe is off tonight. She forgot to decloak and can't find the decloak switch. So that's what's happening with her. But I mean, maybe she just wants to stay in the shadows. Live, love, lurk, baby. Live, love, lurk.
Yeah.
This week, with a potential Picard, TNG, Legacy, whatever the fuck you want to call this script that is probably in Patrick Stewart's hands right now, we're going to go through our wants and don't wants. We're going to go through your wants and don't wants for this potential film. There's a lot. You guys killed it on the mailbag. I'm excited to do this show. Like our other wants and don't wants episodes, your mailbags are sprinkled in with our wants and don't wants. That's how we've been doing it. That's how we like to do it. It's going to be a good show. So we're going to get into it in just a few minutes. But before we do, Hawk, can you please thank our amazing Patron Collective members at the Ready Room level and above, please?
Oh, since you asked nicely. So thank you to Simon Stager, Jeff Reeve, Mariah Gossett, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santos, Kang Wee, Takako Nagumo, Fernando Nogales, SMK, Laura Linderman, Colin Davidson, Jesco, Michael Graham, Emily and Travis, Gildara, Cassie, Blue Chew and Dorian Anachronism, Maggie Light, Tyrannokilicus, Wayne Ritz, Skonovark, Sean, Jay Howard, Anna Yurdadon, Mahalani Uchiyama, Matt Harker, Davey Willett, Tara Pollen, Slope 74, Rude Parakeet, Joshua Miller, Adam Sanders, Aris Spengen, Lanky Guy, Aaron Volke, Carl Angoli, Michael Kwan, TJ, Mir, Caitlin, Elizabeth Dean, Jim McMahon, Time Lord serving in Starfleet, that's illegal.
Still.
I don't believe it.
Sedano 317, Puka Hair, 3 Fries Short, Kate Tip, Tripping the Reed Alert over a Pineapple, Sean Manning, Congressional Baseball Fan, Chris Waterman, RHCB, Martin Simpson, 7 Rasmussen, and our newest collective member, Anna F.
Yay! Welcome to our new collective members. We got another new patron today too. I didn't make the list, unfortunately, but welcome. We love our patrons. We also love our Badmirals, you amazing executive producers, you who keep our lights on. That's Simon Stager, Commander Chris, the Chief Ernesto Castagna, Chris Waterman, and Tara Pollen. Y'all rock. Y'all know who you are. You're my Badmirals. Got to make a sticker. Gonna make a Badmiral sticker. Yeah, we gotta do that. Speaking of patrons, wow, oh wow. the baggie doesn't do it justice, so I'm gonna open it up. The pins,
It's so beautiful.
the yearly pins came in that Eric designed. Every year, if you're in the Patron Collective, no matter your rank, as a thank you for your support throughout the year, you get one of these. And this is our best, without a shadow of a doubt, yet.
Come on, look at that.
Eric just freaking, like, I can't. And what's cool is that I didn't know that Wizard Pins was going to do this, but like in Eric's design, these lines stick out, and on the pin, they actually stick out. So it's like you can feel it. It's really cool. So these are going to start going out.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, chef's kiss. These are going to start going out this weekend. I could just keep going, but I really don't need to. It speaks for itself. The one bit of business with that is you are an international patron. We apologize. Shipping prices, because of everything going on in the world, are insane for international shipping. So if you're in Canada and you would like to receive your pin and a Canadian patron, please, if you can, PayPal us at astrangenewpod.com. That's astrangenewpod.com, not strangenewpod.com. astrangenewpod@gmail.com. $15 US if you're Canadian. Everywhere else internationally, $18 US. Please just let us know you sent it so we can get it to you. Like I said, they'll start this weekend. If you didn't see, can you guys still hear me? Are we frozen?
I can still hear you.
I
You're
can
frozen.
hear you. You're frozen though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is not. Oh, my whole computer's frozen.
Oh Lord.
Oh no.
Well, I think we're
you're
back.
back.
I think I'm back.
You're
I
back.
think I'm back. Oh
You are
my
back.
God. Wow. This y'all don't know
That
what
was
I've been going
heart-clenching.
through with my computer tonight. It's been fun. If you didn't see on Twitter yet, Twitter and just about everywhere, Twitter, Threads, and Instagram, registration is live if you are a fellow podcast listening for our Last Days of Disco podcast festival that we are hosting alongside the Duras sisters. We already have a great lineup, so get your spot because they are limited this year. Star Trek Discovery Pod, Trexperts quiz, I Quit Star Trek. That's a new announcement. I Quit Star Trek will be joining us. Our good friends at the Promenade Merchants podcast will be joining us. So those spots are filling quickly. And of course, are we still frozen?
I'm just trying to find out.
Oh, yeah, we are. Yep.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
It says
We're
we're
all
good.
frozen. No, we're good.
No, we're good.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Do. I'm frozen on my oh, that's why I'm not live on here. Okay, no, we're good. Okay, y'all were confusing me in the chat. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Last Days of Disco. It's gonna be great. Also, if you didn't see in on Discord, February 16th is when we start our full Star Trek Discovery rewatch. So that's gonna be fun. Also, if you didn't see, our sister podcast, our besties, the Duras sisters, they now have their own channel on our Discord server. So go check them out as too. We adore them, and they they deserve it. So and
They're wonderful.
They are.
I got a lovely bracelet from them today.
I saw that.
It
Very
says
nice.
Spock and Uhura on it.
They know you so well.
I know, right?
Full disclosure with that too. We're doing that. This is a kind of a temporary arrangement. They're going to eventually go and make their own server, but this is a good way to kind of get their base going. And when they have a strong enough base, they're going to go and create their own server, but we kind of give them a little boost. So Duras Sisters podcast listeners, please join our Discord and then join theirs when they eventually create theirs. But yeah, for now, they're with us and we love having them here. So anything else in the news that I may have missed, guys? Do you guys have anything? Are we good?
Heroes and Villains.
Heroes and Villains. This shirt is from Heroes and Villains.
So is this one.
That awesome sweater is from Heroes and Villains.
So comfy, so warm.
If it wasn't 90 degrees in my studio, then I would be wearing one of those. But alas. 20% off your first order using our code STRANGE. That is US only, unfortunately. But go get something. Go get something for somebody else. We'll have new stuff to show off from them very soon. And that's about that. So, no strange new loop, because this is just a question. This whole episode,
The whole thing is a
just
strange new loop.
strange new loop. So, I'll still actually hit the button. we are going in to our Picard movie, Picard TNG Legacy, whatever the fuck you want to call it, wants and don't wants. I didn't update this is the one thing that is going to throw me off. I didn't update the outline. So this is going to fuck me over the entire show. It's going to be great. MC, we're going to start with you now. MC, your want for, and I know that you wanted to be on the don't wants, but I got to switch it up because of this.
It's okay.
Your want
I get it.
for a Picard movie.
My want for a Picard movie. My want is for the many, many Deep Space Nine and Voyager characters to appear, because the only way I will enjoy a Picard movie if it's not actually a Picard movie. Because, I mean, let's face it, we're not going to get a Deep Space Nine movie. Avery Brooks is never coming back to play Cisco. So if I want to see like the Deep Space Nine characters, I want to see them in make it a 24th century show movie rather than just Picard.
I like, yeah,
good
sorry,
suggestion. Yeah, no, that's a good suggestion. It really didn't cross my mind that, it's to draw from the Deep Space Nine well for character support for him for this film. So I really endorse that.
I like this because they did it to kill and destroy the entire Star Trek litverse with the Coda trilogy, and you had everyone. You had Voyager, you had TNG, and you had Deep Space Nine. And I would
love if they did something like that.
Yeah, it would be cool. Like get everybody involved, and I think we're going to be hearing a lot more of that throughout the night. But it's a great idea. There's got to be a story that could be told with all three of those crews, and even not just their crews, but their supporting characters as well. So
Grand Nagus
Rob, let's go. And hey, you know what? While we're at it, fuck it. Put the Cerritos crew in there too. Let's go.
Yes.
We need comic relief in this film because it's probably going to be deep as fuck. So get them in for 10 minutes to just like lighten things up. Right?
I absolutely want to see all of the people that we did not see in Strange New Worlds in live action.
Yeah.
Rutherford.
Shax needs to meet Worf.
Yes.
They need to have like a security meeting. Maybe they could throw some pots together.
Technically, haven't they met in the comics?
In the comics, I think they have. Yeah. So
we can build the deeper lore.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. True. Just going in the chat real quick. Going back to the Duras sisters, Eric Summers wrote, "Glory to them and their house." I tried to do my best Gowron. It was not very good. Norman Buckwald. This isn't DS9 or Voyager related, but I think it's not going to be talked about very much tonight, and it does actually, I'm going to talk about it, but we'll talk about it now too. Laris has to be in it.
Yes.
She can't be forgotten. 100% agreed. Orla Brady deserves better. She's an amazing actress. She's a fucking ex-Tal Shiar agent. There is a story to be told there.
Awesome. Like
if they bring her in, I want it to not be about her relationship with Jean-Luc. I want it to be about her being a badass Tal Shiar agent.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
Yep.
We're gonna go to our first mailbag. MC, why don't you stick with it and read Eric actually I'll do this and then you could read the thing right under that, because Eric a couple of weeks ago when we closed out the year wrote one of our end of year mailbags, and I unfortunately missed it in all of the ones that we got, so he reminded me to read it, and we're gonna finally read it. So this is mailbag from our end of year show. As someone who has both written Seven being captain way back in 2009 and spent the last decade also planning and writing the adventures of a Constitution class looking Enterprise G, the on-screen reveal of the Enterprise G and knowing who her captain is in Picard's finale absolutely made my jaw drop, and I literally cried with Jean-Luc in that scene. So yeah, I'm with you.
Aww.
That's awesome. I'm glad that we were able to finally read that. And this is going to be what I talk about a lot too. But MC, go ahead and read his want, please.
If you want an Enterprise G / Legacy film, just adapt my Romulan 2-parter fanfic.
So, funny story. I don't know whether to talk about this now or talk about my want, because it's very related.
I mean, go for it. I mean, how many times do I bring up fanfic? So, roll with it.
So I don't think Eric keeps telling me about his fanfic, but I haven't told him that you guys have read it.
It's amazing.
My treatment, at least for the first act of a Picard film, before before the official, like, I'm getting a script, like when Jean-Luc was like, by the way, we want one more, or Patrick Stewart was like, I want one more movie. I was like, okay, what can we do that hasn't been done in Picard, the series, or Picard, the film, or TNG, the films? And it came back to the Romulans, as it should. But I'll wait till my want to go into more details, but I'm 100% with you, Eric. Romulans, I think, need to be a part of it because you can't do the Borg anymore. And I know we're going to talk about that more later, too.
And I also feel in terms of the Romulans, considering how big of a bad guy they've been in Star Trek, they've always gotten the short end of the stick.
Yeah, they have.
Like in TOS and Enterprise, they could never really like seriously get into them. Like especially with Enterprise, it's like we can't show them. And by the time of TNG, it was just like kind of doing sneaky things, but they were much more focused on the Borg and even like the Klingons, and especially in Deep Space Nine, it was the Klingons, it was the Dominion. Romulans always kind of got pushed to the background and they were just sneaky.
Yeah.
And it's
Let
weird
be
because
badasses.
TNG is actually where we learned the most about them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It is. Eric has one more thing to say in the chat, so I'll read it. Make Naomi Wildman the new Enterprise science officer.
Ooh.
Well,
Yes.
Tavine, unfortunately, is no longer with us, so they need a replacement, and of course it should be Naomi Wildman. That would be Seven's first thing back at Space Dock, right? Like,
Hell yeah.
yo, Naomi, let's play Cottiscott. Also, be my science officer. Let's go.
I
So-
think like the only thing that could get in the way of that would be Naomi being, it's like, no, I want to be the captain of my own ship now.
True. She's probably old enough at this point, right?
Oh, I don't know how the
getting
aging
to that
works.
point. Yeah. Yep. Hawk, we're gonna continue on. You were supposed to have a want. You are now tasked with the first don't want of the show.
Ooh, okay. So basically a story about Picard having to heal a part of himself. I think after the last 3 seasons, there really can't be that many skeletons left in his closet that need sorting out before he goes off to greener pastures. Or is there? I don't know.
It's like 90. It's like you can't like there's not so many issues you can get into at this point. Especially you've dealt with your mommy issues, you dealt with your daddy issues, you dealt with your issues with having kids. Like, just no.
Where's there to go?
There's one more thing. There's one more place that they can go with Jean-Luc.
Okay.
It has to do with the chateau. It has to do with Renee and Robert. I know that they already kind of did that in season 2, but I think it's the chateau itself, right? Like
Burn it to the ground. Oh wait, they already tried that.
And that's also what I wrote. Yes, burn it to the ground. There's a story there. So I like it. Yeah, but don't try too hard because his brain has been picked apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God. Yeah, fuck.
I'm gonna be punchy tonight. By the way, guys, I'm
You're
really
not wrong.
sleep deprived.
I know.
Yeah. All right, where are we? We are at. Can you continue on, please, Hawk? You read Lizzie Shaw's want.
Sure. Lizzie Shaw wants what I've always wanted for a potential legacy show / movie is for the story and people to move forward. Only showing Picard, Riker, Crusher in the first scenes or episodes, much like DS9 and Voyager debuts. Continue reading this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd imagine Seven as being the most well-known character being involved as the new old guard of the franchise. I'd love to see her and Raffi together and essentially want the continuing missions of the Enterprise G. And so many fucking Romulans.
The Romulans, I feel like, are going to be the theme of,
Yes.
of tonight. Like,
Mhm.
Rightly so.
whatever they do needs to be a Romulan story. And I think it's hilarious that as we say this, Giraffe is watching us but can't hear a word we're saying because she's in a restaurant. So she's not hearing all the Romulan love being
So she's just in the
thrown her
chat, just talking
She's
about
just in the
Romulans.
chat talking about Romulans. So
Starting
maybe
to
she
read
can
our
hear
lips,
us.
I think,
Maybe
at
she
this
can
point.
hear us now. We'll see. So
Sneak the little earpiece in,
yeah.
which would be what a Romulan would do.
Ah, always lurking.
Always lurking. Always lurking.
Oh, Gene Kang has come up with an interesting suggestion. Wesley Crusher is the big bad.
Star Trek Online did that.
They already did.
They
yes.
did. They did. He the Mirror Wesley went and got Mirror V'ger, and like V'ger
Ooh.
started destroying it. Dude, that was actually I found most of the Star Trek Online stories to be mediocre. That was good.
That was epic.
That was really good.
I have a very important question.
Yes.
Does V'ger have a beard?
V'ger, no, but V'ger is purple instead of blue. So, you know.
Purple is very evil.
Yeah. Yeah. But I like this idea of Wesley being the big bad. Like Wesley's just like, I don't know. He's gotten the shit end of the stick so much. Maybe something happens to the Travelers where he's finally just lost it and has all that Traveler power and just starts fucking with time and space. That could be a really fun story. I like it.
Well, how many times have we had like these in all kinds of media? Have we had these big omnipotent beings that are like supposed to be like maintaining things? And it's like, no, we actually have to like control it because you guys don't know what you're doing. Like it's classic.
Yeah. Yeah. Eric writes the Romulan story arc is probably best Star Trek Online story. It's good. It is good. I think that Mirror V'ger shit was bananas and worked somehow. I didn't like the actual. Oh, just making sure we're still good. Everybody can still hear us. I had random shit fly over my screen just now, and my computer is in a mood. So just tell me we're here, please. That would
Your
be.
computer, I think, is becoming sentient.
My computer is turning into V'ger. I think we're good. I think we're okay. Hawk, what were you going to say?
No.
I thought you were going to say something. Sorry.
No. I'm
No.
good. No.
I think it's me now, right? And I was supposed to have a don't
with a
want,
want.
but now I'm on a want.
No, with a want.
Oh yeah, so now I'm on a want. Yep.
Yeah.
So my want.
Strap in, guys.
Strap in. My want is the treatment that I wrote for this, and that involves, and I'm not just saying that to toot my own horn. I think it's a really good story. These guys liked it.
It's very good. You are very considerate about everything, like, because one of the things I really loved about your treatment is that aside from like obviously Picard and like a single mention of Worf, every single character talks about in it as a woman.
Yep. Yep. So in my treatment, it's the Romulans, and it's not just the Romulans, it's Sela. And Sela and Denise Crosby are like the one open door that I think that you can still do and would translate so well on the screen. You would start this thing, like MC said, you burn Chateau Picard to the ground. You think that at this point, Jean-Luc has lost everything. There's a point where I tease, and I would never do it because I'm not an asshole. I even tease fridging Beverly, but she's okay. She's fine, right? Like he thinks he's lost the chateau. He thinks he's lost Beverly, like because they're living together. But she shows up at Starfleet Command. They think it's basically this whole Klingon plot, but it's actually the Romulans, and it's Sela basically getting back at Jean-Luc for everything that's happened with the Romulan Empire, from the supernova to the lack when Starfleet pulled out support of the relocation effort, and basically everything that happened with her mother, right? Like, and how yesterday's Enterprise affected everything. So Janeway's involved, Bev's involved, Raffi is head of Starfleet intelligence. It's a great story.
Laris is involved.
Laris shows up in the middle of the night and breaks into Janeway's apartment. It's wonderful. They have a whole like, my security's good. She's like, no, I'm Tal Shiar. Anyway, Romulans, Sela, Laris. Let's go. That's what I want.
I mean, honestly, from just a meta perspective, Sela is absolutely the best way to go, because I feel I'm going to say they owe it to Denise Crosby.
Oh, they do.
They fucked her over so badly.
Yep.
Like yesterday's Enterprise was a brilliant episode.
Yes.
that is her best episode.
Yeah.
Like, and her appearances as Sela were okay, but they never reached Sela's true potential. And
No, they
I think
forget
they-
about her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and what would be better than going all the way back to the beginning and having a bad guy with the same face as somebody that Picard trusted
Yeah.
implicitly, basically saw him as a father figure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, absolutely. Sela, let's go.
Yeah, agreed. Like, yeah, even in just to be able to incorporate Denise Crosby back into the fold after so many decades. Yeah, I would love to see that happen. And Laris would be probably an even more important character in that because of the Romulan plot. Like if it's Sela trying to take revenge on Jean-Luc and that, Laris would be there. It's like you can't take these people on alone.
Well, and sorry, Huck. Go ahead.
Yep. No, go ahead.
I would also have to assume that with Laris being ex-Tal Shiar, that she had to have had dealings with Sela at one point in time. There is a story to be had between those two as well. Like, seriously, this is the last big open door that they could do with Picard and get away with it either in series or in film. I don't think there are many other options. If you're going to go strictly the Jean-Luc Picard route, not the legacy whole team. I mean, you could get the whole TNG crew involved in that, right? Because Tasha meant everything to them as well, right?
Yeah.
There's ways to do it, but I think that's it. Jean's writing, to be honest, I was thinking there would be some sort of Picard, Laris, Beverly throuple, but Laris Janeway would be very interesting. Yes.
Here for it.
Here for
I
it.
support it.
Yep.
So somebody mentioned the chateau burning down before, and you had also mentioned that that's kind of the last emotional thing that could really be brought up with Picard. Just in terms of your treatment, what if Renee and Robert were like the warning shot, like years ago?
They
from
were
Sela?
the warning shot. That's in my treatment. It's Sela who
How
burned.
did I forget that?
Yeah. I think it's in my treatment. I'm like 99% sure. Yeah, Sela.
I mean, like, remember, I'm very sleep deprived
There's a
right
point
now.
where like Sela would reveal, like, by the way, that was me. Like, that was me. And Sela also an STO. I don't know how you figure out all the STO shenanigans into this. Like, did a lot of time travel bullshit. So
I mean, most of the time they just ignore that shit. So.
yeah. So no, Tara, this film would not be PG. This film would be like pushing R at a hard PG-13.
At least an adult
Like,
accompaniment will be
listen,
fine.
I didn't want Quentin Tarantino to do a rated R Star Trek movie, but I want a rated R Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't need to be Quentin Tarantino.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
because
like,
he completely misunderstood Star Trek. I mean, I've read everything. Like, of course, I've read everything about what Quentin Tarantino wanted to do with Kelvinverse. He didn't understand Star Trek, but a rated R Star Trek is not the worst idea.
Nope. All right. So sorry, I went through my whole fucking treatment of my film for my want. Not sorry. Let's go with I think we skipped it. No, we didn't skip it because of the weird order. I'll read Tara's. Tara's don't want no more Borg villains. If they do the Borg and like there's like one hint of the music or there's like a drone in this movie, I'm walking out of the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
they've closed the door on that, but the anticipate what's the word I'm looking for? The antipathy between Picard and the Borg Queen and that ran for,
Yeah.
he didn't even realize that she was still there. That's done. That's all done. The Borg are no more. The new Borg are still there with Girardi. The build a better Borg.
They can have 7. They can bring Hugh back from the dead, but no other Borg.
Oh,
that's about it.
Also, back to my treatment real quick. You also bring back, what's her name? Not dead Romulan hottie from season 1.
Narissa.
Yeah.
We never saw a body, man. We never saw a body. Sorry, continue. Any more about not wanting the Borg? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. No more Borg.
They've done them to death. Like, I mean, I think we already talked about that when we were talking about Picard, season 3. It's like they've hit that well so many times it's dry.
Yeah.
Speaking of dry, sorry Tara, I'm gonna boo-hoo your idea here. We need a Q movie. I don't think so.
No, that would be an easy one. I mean,
Q works best in small doses.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Yep.
it's like, I think like, the finality of like season 2's like finale and that, with his goodbye to Picard was an actual goodbye to him, and that it's like, we could maybe see him with Jack Crusher, later
Yep.
on in that. But I think like, his relationship with Picard has come to its conclusion.
Door is closed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Q is immortal because all Qs are immortal, but there is a certain timeline that can't be messed with, and his timeline with Picard he is dead in that timeline, even if he can still interact with Jack. I don't know exactly how this works. I think it's like 6-dimensional, but it somehow works.
I get it. Yeah.
My outline is totally messing with me, so I did go a bit out of the order there. Hawk, we're gonna go to you next, but before we go to you, we're gonna do another collective one. Can you read Yum Yum Pods Don't Want, please?
Sure. Yum Yum Pods Don't Want. I don't want Patrick Stewart's ego getting in the way. Please, no more pointless romance plots with women half his age or dune buggy action sequences. I get it. I don't. Is that Patrick Stewart's ego that was getting in the way, or was it the writers mainly? Like,
I mean, he had so much control.
Ego. I don't know if ego is the right word. Interest. I've read his biography. Patrick Stewart loves himself some driving and young women.
Okay, that's true. Yes. Well,
yeah. Just going back to Q real quick. Tara's writing, but there's stuff hanging. He was the last thing we saw on Picard. Yeah, but the last thing we saw on Picard with Q was him with Jack Crusher. I think there's a story to be told. Yeah, if it's a legacy movie, maybe Q. But if this is a Picard movie, I don't think so. But I mean, I think you explore Q and Jack in a series. I'd like to see that. I want to know why he's wearing that like red sash. Like, I want to know what's going on with that. I want to know. It just doesn't need to be in the movie.
Yeah, MC, I like your idea in that he's actually not a part of Picard's reality anymore. It's kind of like the Doctor and River song and that, like, and how their timelines just kind of are going in opposite directions.
Love that.
We don't understand it.
I did just watch all of River's episodes in her order, so that might be why I'm thinking like that.
Tara writes, of course, it's a legacy movie. That's not the impression I get. I get the impression that this is a Picard, maybe TNG movie written specifically with Jean-Luc in mind. I don't think it is a legacy movie. I think we're talking about it as if it could be a legacy movie, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a legacy movie. Paramount has said nothing about legacy. Like, legacy is still very much a fan, and Terry Matalas pushed some of the actors and stuff, but Paramount's still like playing coy with it.
Yeah.
I could see this from the report we got from Patrick Stewart. They did say Picard movie, but they could have very well meant TNG movie and just put Picard there because that is the last thing that they were all in. If it were me as a betting woman, I would say it's a TNG movie.
I think so too, especially with the way Frakes was talking at New York Comic Con 2 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. I know, Tara, that you meant that like talking about it as if it's a legacy movie. Apologies. But still, if it was a Picard movie, no Q. I don't know about ego with Patrick Stewart. I don't think he has much ego left. I mean, the dude's a brilliant actor. I think he's also I've met him in person once, and it was not like the greatest of experiences because there were like thousands of people in line. But like, I still think that even with all that, like, he's a pretty humble dude, I don't know. I get that from his memoir. I get that, like, dude, he did not need to do the Shakespeare sonnets every single day until that book was done. Like, he didn't need to do that, and he did that for people, and that gave a lot of people, like, it's little things. I don't think that he has much of an ego. Like, I don't have a problem with him being with Laris or Bev.
Yeah, I'm giving Yum Yum Pod the benefit of the doubt in terms of the wording. I think ego was the incorrect word. the stuff with the Dune buggy was absolutely put in because of Patrick Stewart's interest. Like, he admitted to it, like, flat out. He's
Yeah.
like, I asked them to put it in, and they did. And certainly, if you look at the love interests that Picard has over the course of the series, they are all substantially younger than he is. Like, Bev, I think, canonically is closer than Patrick Stewart is to Gates McFadden. Like, I'm pretty sure they aged Gates up. And Orla Brady compared to Patrick Stewart, yeah, no, there's a big difference there.
But she's a Romulan, so she could be decades older than him.
No.
Okay, so he gets a pass. Great.
No, don't give me this, but the vampire looks
Am I
14
wrong?
years old.
Am I
mean,
wrong?
you're not wrong, but it's I'm coming at this from the point of view
but you're
of
absolutely
somebody
right.
who is
You're absolutely right.
2 minutes younger than Patrick Stewart's wife right now. So
it's Jean-Luc's MO and it's Patrick Stewart's MO. Like, the dude I think
really
has
is.
only been married and dated younger women. So
Yeah.
good.
And this is all respect to Patrick Stewart.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
love him, and so
Yep. Okay. True or false? The dune buggy scene is awesome in Nemesis.
True. But only in comparison to the rest of the film.
the dune buggy scene is fun, but I think belongs in a completely different movie.
I have no problem with the dune buggy scene. None whatsoever. It gave me Star Trek 5 vibes.
Yeah.
I was here for it.
I don't want things to give me Star Trek 5 vibes.
Yeah, okay, fair. We went way out of whack with that one. I like it. So Hawk, we're sticking with you. You did a want or don't want to start?
I did the don't want.
So you're on a
time.
want now. What do you want?
Okay. What I really want is a story that helps shape the direction the franchise will take after Picard, and how he can help to guide it. Like, Picard season 3 was supposed to be the final journey for him, for the crew of the Enterprise D. So if this movie does actually come about, it needs to help establish a legacy that can be built upon by further projects.
No pun intended.
Not the light.
Absolutely intended. Come on, I don't believe you guys.
No, I'd like to see this project help to move the franchise forward. That's just me. So discuss.
I think that anything that they do in film needs to do it. Yes, but also no. I think going way back to the top of the show with what MC was talking about with DS9 and Voyager, you could put a complete nail in the coffin for the TNG era of Star Trek with one more movie, like they did with the books, right? One more thing. It doesn't advance anything at all, but by doing that, it later lets it advance, right? So, like, Legacy is free to basically do whatever the fuck it wants without having to rely on legacy characters, right? Besides Seven, and I mean, Rafi at this point now is a legacy character.
Yeah.
Those characters on the bridge of the Enterprise G. So I think it could go both ways. There could be a Picard film that does do that, and there could be a Picard TNG DS9 Voyager film that doesn't do that at all, but allows it for it to happen later.
Yeah. So basically, even though it needs the support of established characters and that, it still has kind of a path forward for everybody else. Because really, I'm trying to think where is it going? We need new characters in that. It's like Rafi was the only one that pretty much survived out of the 3 seasons of Picard. They didn't invest enough time into getting us to love the new ones in that.
I think there's a way after this film, or listen, if you could go with Back to My Treatment, there's definitely a way to get Eleanor in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a Romulan.
I love that character.
Yeah, right. Rafi's in there. You don't need to bring back Rios. Rios had a happy ending. I'm happy
He's
with
gone.
Rios'
Yeah.
ending.
They time fridged him. so.
Soji, I don't really know what you do with Soji as much as I like the actress and I kind of like the character.
Soji is such a weird character. I feel like, Issa Biones is wonderful, but I could never get a beat on her character really because she played so many different characters. Like I can't remember what Soji did versus what Daj did versus whoever was the one in
Corey,
Los Angeles, Corey, yeah. So yeah, and I mean, like she's off doing the synth thing. Like, what are we gonna do? Like with Soji, like have her meet Data and do like an awkward father-daughter thing? Because one, he's not really her father, and we've already had enough storylines like that. We don't need to do that. Bring Elnor back. Like that's awesome. Like yes, more Elnor.
And Terry said that he wasn't on board Excelsior during the end battle, so he's fine, you know.
And also, I'm saying this both for Giraffe and for me, but bring Narek back.
Yeah, bring somehow, right? I mean, he didn't die.
Well,
he's
he didn't die. He's in
somewhere.
jail.
He's in jail. He's in Romulan jail somewhere or Federation jail.
No, he's in Federation jail.
Matt Harker writes, I'm going to go way back to something Matt Harker wrote and read his other comment too. He wrote, what the fuck is wrong with Paramount for not greenlighting Legacy yet? Nothing's wrong. Okay, that's not how I wanted to say that. There's a lot wrong with Paramount, but not greenlighting Legacy is not something that's wrong with Paramount. Paramount is going through a lot of shit right now. They've gone through layoffs. They're trying to figure out whether Paramount Plus is sustainable. Greenlighting another Star Trek series when they have Academy coming and still a season of Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks for another season. Even it's not on Paramount Plus, Prodigy season 2 on Netflix. The franchise is out there and there's a risk of oversaturation. And I want Star Trek Legacy.
I would like to bring up something very important.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a year since Picard season 3 came out. It
hasn't even been a year.
It hasn't been a year. And in between that time, there has been a writers and an actors strike. So I don't think a lot of stuff was being greenlit, including stuff like and I mean, look at Strange New Worlds. Like it took a while between season 2 of Discovery and Strange New Worlds coming out.
Partly because of COVID, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but still, you can't expect Paramount's not Q. They can't snap their fingers and then absolutely have the show. There's a lot of moving parts involved, especially considering what people want for Legacy is a bunch of actors who were established on a previous show. And are probably going to cost a lot of money. Do you think that Jerry Ryan's
Michelle Hurd is going to cost money? Yeah. Yep.
It's a really bad time for the studio system, and that no sympathy to the studio system because it's their own damn fault.
Yep.
But it's a time of upheaval, and that so.
I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility for Star Trek Legacy to happen. I actually think more than likely it 100% will happen. I just don't think that we're going to get an announcement or anything before Strange New World season 3 even airs, or maybe beyond that. Like there's a set, not in a bad way, but there is an oversaturation of Trek right now, even with Discovery ending. It's just not necessary. And then going back to his second comment, Matt writes, now that Picard has done Coda, the book trilogy, just feels like all Paramount did was kill a revenue stream. This is a plug on the podcast part now. No, they didn't, because there's a brand new Picard book coming out in a month and a half called Star Trek Picard Firewall, which is the story of how 7 of 9 became a Fenris Ranger, and written by David Mack, who we are going to be interviewing. So there's still books coming out. There's still a lot happening. Like, I would just say be patient.
Yeah, in terms of the Litverse, and I say this as somebody who is a big fan of the Litverse, they wanted to come up with a canonical reason to end that series. It was kind of like with Star Wars Legends, them ending that off when they were starting off a new franchise, which granted, that was a very controversial thing they did. And it was controversial that they ended the Litverse, but there was no way they were going to make a Picard series and have Picard married to Bev and have, a son named Renee. I mean, of course, they had him hook up with Beverly and have a son named Jack. So, I mean, like, what the fuck do I know? But no, I'm just saying that there was a lot of continuity that, like, I mean, didn't like Q Jr. die in that, like saving Janeway or something?
Dude,
like a lot of shit happened.
like,
Sorry, I just gave away some big spoilers.
No, but I mean, the series has been out for
They've been out
over a
forever.
year. Like, everybody fucking dies in that, right? Like, I mean, not everybody, but like everybody dies. Like, there's so
Eventually.
much death and destruction in that trilogy. It's wild. Like, the mirror universe gets involved. Like, it is a funky trilogy of books. So, not all great, honestly, if I'm being dead honest. Like, the second book was great, like amazing. The first and third were meh.
There are some wonderful books coming out in the current Star Trek that I think people are sleeping on.
Yep.
So
agreed. So we are back. Hawk, you did your want, right?
Yes.
And now can you read, I'm going to have you do a second read. Can you do Colin D's want as well?
Absolutely. Colin D's want. I'm ready to see the amazing adventures of Seven and Raffi with only a sprinkling of Jack Crusher. I'm ready to see guest appearances from Voyager and DS9 characters. I want new adventures. I'd love to see the LaForge sisters. I want Liam Shaw alive because of Seven's nanoprobes. Let's move on.
I'm in for Liam Shaw coming back in any possible way.
Yeah.
I don't care how they do it. Todd Stashwick is a national treasure. Bring Shaw back. Like,
and I am here for the adventures of Seven and Raffi as lesbian lovers, not this broken up bullshit.
by the way, I should mention again, I'm plugging this until I finish the whole thing. In my treatment, they're not on the Enterprise together anymore, but they are still very much an item. But I think Raffi, like, heading up Starfleet Intelligence was just a really good idea.
Yes,
That's
I
all.
love
Anyway,
it.
I'm in for that too. I want those adventures. But definitely give me Liam Shaw somehow, some way. A real Titan A, like a Luna class Titan A. Make him captain of that.
Yes,
I guess it would
and
be
kind of Borgy.
B at that point. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because
guess.
I mean, his was the Titan A.
It
so-
was, but then it became the Enterprise. So did the Titan A? It's like the ship
of Theseus?
Like, was it actually ever the Titan A? I think we need this button for that.
I want to know what the hell is going on.
But yes, we're going to be hearing a lot more about Seven and Raffi together and their adventures. Hashtag Star Trek Legacy to nauseum. MC, you started with a want, even though I was going to make you start with a don't want. So you finally get your wish, your don't want for a Picard Legacy TNG film.
Okay, let's get into this. Everybody sitting down, everybody comfortable?
I have beer in
Ready.
my hand. I'm good.
I don't want any of this. Like, I mean, like I can come up with something that, that I would, if we're going to be going down this route, yes, let's do it this way. I don't want any of this, though. I don't want them to do a Picard movie. I don't want them to do a Next Generation movie. And yeah, send all of your hate at MC Frodis on Twitter. I don't want a legacy TV show. I think that
Woo!
I think that Star Trek has always been about exploring the unknown, and I think all of this stuff is incredibly known. Especially if this does end up being a Picard movie. I'm sorry, there are like 4 characters in Star Trek who have been explored to death, and that's Kirk, Spock, Data, and Picard.
Yeah.
And if they do a Picard movie that they're going to be doing freaking Data and Picard again.
If Brent Spiner's in that movie, that's also reason number 2 why I walk out. Borg and Data.
I mean, he's going to be in there. Like, Brent Spiner knows where the bodies are buried.
He knows where Rick Berman's bodies are buried specifically.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I know there's a part of the reason why I'm against all of this stuff is part of my contrariness, because, and I mean, Matt Harker, I love you to death, but you know, your comment about, you know, what's Paramount's problem not doing Legacy. I've been hearing comments like this since the end of Picard season 3, and it's getting to the point where there is such an entitlement for Legacy to happen, for TNG characters to keep happening in Star Trek, that it makes me not want it. And I mean, like, these are characters that I do love, but I want to be able to move past this, because the TNG characters are characters that came out in 1989. 1987, 87, even earlier than that. So yeah, this is like late 80s, early 90s, and we saw some of the echoes of that come up in Picard with like the use of Beverly and Troy, because I mean, we were still dealing with how characters were set up from the previous show, where, you know, feminism wasn't really our top priority. And I want to see like the Starfleet Academy series that they're doing. Like I think that's going to be amazing,
because Tawny being in the writers' room.
Tawny, yes. And it's somewhere we completely haven't been before, because we've only just like the tiniest like little surface bit of the iceberg of the 32nd century in Discovery. Like, come on, like we've only just like one. We've only discovered like one little ship. But I want more. I want to explore different genres in Star Trek. Like, my favorite Star Trek is my two favorite Star Treks are Deep Space Nine, the one where they don't trek anywhere, and Lower Decks, which is, you know, their animated comedy. So, you know, we want Romulans, like let's do like a just flat out like political thriller.
Yeah.
God, I would love that. Let's do Captain America, the Winter Soldier on Star Trek.
Yes, absolutely. And Winter Soldier is one of my favorite MCU movies.
Winter Soldier
for that
is
very
still the best MCU movie ever made. Period. End of story. Fight me.
It's so good. So yes, explore different genres, because Star Trek at this point can sustain things that are not what we know. Like that's already been proven by what they're doing with Lower Decks and Prodigy. Star Trek is an entire universe, and if it is going to be the Star Trek universe, it should not be the same thing over and over again. And let's face it, the TNG actors, like they how am I going to put this without offending anybody?
Doesn't matter. Just say it anyway.
Fucking say it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows us by now.
They're very old. And I think like that was showing in Picard. Like they were making references to the fact of how old they are, and they're all retired now. So how are we going to bring all of these people in for another, you know, mission? They already went on the ultimate mission, taking on their absolute arch nemesis to save Picard's son. And I'm done. Like, Picard can go to a chateau with Laris or with Beverly, with both of them. I don't care. Like, whatever he gets up to in his own chateau is his business. Just let these people get the happy ending that was set up in Picard, because at this point, we have had 3 grand finales with these characters. We had All Good Things. We had Nemesis. And then we had The Last Generation, is I think the last episode.
The Last Generation.
Yeah. Some of these were more successful than others. I'd say they got 2 out of 3 correct. But I mean, at least, even if Nemesis was not the most well done, it was at least, it had a finality to it. So the fact that we keep saying goodbye to these people, it then starts to become like the Rolling Stones going on farewell tours.
Have they ever gone on a farewell tour? I don't know.
I think
They have gone on many.
Yeah, because the guy won't fucking die. It's Mick Jagger, right? Like he just won't fucking die.
Keith should have been dead
That dude
a couple
is
decades ago.
Like speaking of vampires, like literal vampire Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
MC, I completely and utterly agree with you. I said goodbye to these characters when we did our review of The Last Generation. Like really, like I did. I said goodbye to them, and I'm gonna get a little emotional here with Tara's fucking limerick at the end. Like that was the perfect goodbye. And like, will I go see it if it comes out? Yeah, of course I will. I love Star Trek and I love these characters, but do I need it?
And you're obligated.
Yeah, like do I need it? No, I don't need it. I don't need it. I said goodbye in All Good Things, which again, I still think in all of television, not just sci-fi, is the perfect series finale for a television series ever. Nemesis, I am a sympathizer, not a perfect movie. Did it for me. And then The Last Generation, sitting at the poker table, everybody's alive. We don't need to see it again. That being said, I will play devil's advocate and read Tara's comment because I do agree with this as well. For me, talk about legacy is more to keep it out there, and because that is the language that money deciders understand. Clicks, engagement, hashtags. I do agree with that. And that's how we got Strange New Worlds. And if we didn't get Strange New Worlds, we wouldn't have this podcast. So I get doing all you can to get that series made for the people that want it.
I mean, I get the campaigning for it. Like I absolutely get it. But, and I think, and I mean, like and getting Strange New Worlds is an absolute like win, but because people got Strange New Worlds, I think now people expect it. And so there are many people, and like let's not pretend that there aren't many people that aren't stamping their foot like Veruca Salt and Willy Wonka saying, I want it now, Daddy.
No, fair.
I shouldn't have put it like that. I know some of the people in our chat.
No, there's part of me that really agrees with you on this. It's like this came out of nowhere, like this announcement that this movie could possibly be happening, and that. But again,
Hawk,
like
I'm
this
sorry,
is,
I do have to interrupt you. It did
Go.
not come out of nowhere.
For me, it did. When I read that announcement,
for you specifically, but him and Frakes have been teasing this movie since about 5 months before Picard season 3 premiered.
Okay. Well, like for me, it feels like this is the normal kind of knee-jerk reaction of Paramount. It's like they always lean too hard on their tent poles, as far as like this franchise, But the franchise itself is strong enough to exist without them in that. It's like they leaned hard on Kirk and that right up into, Generations, After that, it's like, I think like, with Shatner's kind of toxicity kind of eliminated him from anything in the future and that. But I mean, like Spock, was like, they brought him into the new generation of movies and that, and it's like right up until his death and that. And I think you even commented, MC, about how Patrick Stewart basically have to die before Paramount would stop knocking on his door.
I absolutely did say that.
Yeah. So in a way, I agree in that. I mean, if Patrick Stewart is available to it, fine, but yeah, there's only so many times you can say goodbye in that until it's, it starts to feel like Deadpool at the end of Deadpool 2 and that when he just wouldn't die and go away.
I mean, it's funny that you brought up Deadpool because the thing is, it's like Patrick Stewart. I mean, I guess I'm like I'm from Zoolander. Patrick Stewart's so hot right now. Like he just came out with his memoir, which, was a huge success. They are really like, I hear a lot of Marvel news. Like they're really going, it's like Patrick Stewart's going to be in Deadpool.
Yeah, he's in
3.
Deadpool 3. Like it's all but confirmed. Yep.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be in the X-Men movie that Disney does after the Captain Marvel's the Marvel stinger.
Yeah, because they are doing Avengers versus X-Men. Like that's again all but confirmed, and they're going to have Xavier, and then it's going to be Patrick Stewart. So Patrick Stewart is like huge with the nerds right now. I mean, he's Patrick fucking Stewart. He's always big, but they want to use him, and I think part of that might be because they want to use him while they still can. Because, and I'm not saying that he might want to retire. That's how I'm going to put it.
He's in his 80s. He has absolutely the right to. Yeah,
I
he's given
don't
us
think
so
he
much.
wants to retire.
Yeah,
I think that
he's in very good shape.
There's
and so
always the possibility, and that's, I think, like, in people's minds. I'm trying to be delicate here, Julian.
I know.
No, I get what you're saying, and I know that at any point that could happen. But I mean, you look at some of the greats, and listen, look at all these. Trying not to be ageist here. These really old English actors who just keep going and going and going. Listen, the English dental system might not be good, but the healthcare system's working because these dudes live forever, and they do a good job. So I think that, like, as long as his heart is beating, that dude is a lifelong actor. Like, no bullshit. I could still see Patrick Stewart going on a film and winning an Oscar. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Not for Star Trek, obviously.
I mean, but there is also the thing, and I am not trying to sound ageist. I'm sorry if I do. Him winning and doing a movie that could win him an Oscar, absolutely, I could see that. But there is a certain physicality involved with Star Trek, and even if he is in really great shape, that does not change the fact that there are things that
and
I get
it's the way it translates on screen, right? It's like it's obviously this is sci-fi, and it's always meant to push the limits of disbelief in that. But at the same time, when you're dealing with someone who's in their 80s in a fight scene,
Yep.
No, and you're right, because he's capable of so much more in that. It's like, as an actor, last great thing I saw him in. You guys ever? I don't know if you guys watch Green Room.
Oh, Green Room's fucking. That movie's both awful and amazing at the same time. Yeah.
It's a hard movie to watch, but if you can, Patrick Stewart does a great performance.
He plays a Nazi
as the villain. Villain.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I just saw somebody, Tara mentioned movie budget, like, because there was some talk about the insurance costs for Patrick Stewart, and Tara brought up that in terms of a movie budget, it's absolute nothing. I'm just going to throw in a small little want here. A Star Trek movie has to be a smaller budget movie because they've made this mistake so many times, and I'm going to be talking about this obviously next week because we're doing stuff on Kelvin. Big budget Star Trek doesn't work.
Nope, sure doesn't.
We need to scale back, and not scale back our expectations, but I mean also just, it's not even just Star Trek, just movies in general. Like, we've seen that with all of the Marvel movies last year that freaking failed, not because they didn't make buckets of money, but because they all cost way too much. So Star Trek should not cost that much. We talk about it all the time. Star Trek is made for $5 and a bag of Coke. So, like,
it sure was.
And their best episodes have never been about the explosions or actions or that. They've always been about ideas and interactions between people.
Yeah.
So it's a little harder to do that, like with a movie, and but as you said, scale back the budget, make something smaller, more intimate, more of an idea-driven movie, and give him something to do, other than run down a hall or firing phasers or that. Give him like an intellectual challenge, and he'll deliver.
Norman just said it in the chat. Yes, characters talking together in a room sometimes made the best episodes. Yep. MC, continue. This actually works out very well. Can you read Jedi Cats Don't Want? And it goes with everything that we've just been saying.
Jedi Cat Don't Want. I don't want a new Picard/TNG film. I just don't. Picard season 3 was the perfect send-off for that cast. I'm all for a spin-off series or a movie of the few further adventures of Captain Seven and the Enterprise G if it's done right. Occasional appearances from TNG era characters, including the Lower Deckers and or Prodigy crew, would be great so long as they don't overdo the nostalgia/fan surface. 100%.
Yep. Agreed. I'm up, and I think I'm on a don't want now. And I'll read Sean.
Yes.
And we're going to finish off with mailbag. I can't believe these words are going to come out of my mouth. But if you're going to do a Picard movie, I don't want to see another single TNG character in it. And I wrote a treatment with them in it. I don't. If you're going to do one final script that was written, like you said, Sir Patrick, with Picard in mind, it's a Picard movie. It is all about Jean-Luc. And not talking about his trauma, like you said, Hawk. Like, we don't need to fucking visit that. Make this a Picard movie, because we did say goodbye to all those characters already at the end of Picard season 3. You could do spin-offs with some of them. Like, I wouldn't mind that. I'd still love a fucking like Riker's Pizza Kitchen series. Like, would watch.
Oh, I want that. Like, can we do that?
Yeah, can we do that?
Yeah.
For real? But if you're gonna do a Picard movie, do it Picard, do it Laris. Characters that have been established in the Picard series but not in TNG. And I don't love those characters. I've gone on record saying that many times. But if this is the way you're going to do it this way, and do it fucking well, and make people buy a ticket. That's really it. Make the feature Picard, and shit, make it so fucking good that he does get nominated for Star Trek for an Academy Award. Like, it's got to be Patrick Stewart, Picard centric, no TNG.
It works, it's like I don't know if like studios actually believe it or not, but like I kind of feel like there's a little bit of a change, going on as far as like people's appetites for movies,
Yeah.
maybe they're going back into something like that challenges them a bit more intellectually in that. Two biggest films last year, Oppenheimer and Barbie, and they were both movies that actually had something to say, right? Instead of just throwing like, explosions, cars, blah, 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 or, huge CGI effects at you. They were movies about ideas, and that's Star Trek's wheelhouse is ideas, as we mentioned before, So if you're going to do something, if you're going to do a Picard movie, go with like, do what Julian says in that, make it about Picard, make it about, an idea, something, an intellectual challenge for him to go after.
Giraffe brings up a really good point in the chat. And it's true, and we already talked about this, but I think it's true for each of us as co-hosts. Make people buy a ticket. I know I'd buy a ticket even if you tell me it sucks. We would.
Yeah.
Because it's Star Trek. But
Yeah.
make me buy a ticket and it not suck. And Yum Yum Pod brings up another good point, and I wholeheartedly agree. I've gone on record saying I don't love Picard season 1 or 2. The first 2 seasons tried that, basically, and it was pretty stinky.
Mm-hmm.
No lies. It was. It doesn't mean it can't be good. You could still do it and have it be good. There's just got to be a great fucking story. And they didn't. Go ahead.
I mean, I was just going to point out that, I was talking about how we said goodbye to the TNG characters 3 times. Picard, we've actually said goodbye to 4 fucking times because he died in the first season of Picard.
When did he die in season 1 of Picard? Oh, fuck. Season 1 of Picard. I thought you meant TNG. Sorry. Apologies.
It's like,
He died several times in TNG.
Golem
but-
body.
Oh boy. I'll read Chris's want, and it very much goes against the grain of what we've been talking about tonight, and I like that. I'd be interested in a final Picard film. Although since the season ended so well, I'd prefer a string film where he sacrifices himself for everyone. I mean, dude, if they're gonna kill him, he needs to stay dead. No more Borg bullshit.
Yeah.
Maybe Data could be whistling Pop Goes the Weasel to Jack Crusher after this happens. Whatever they do, I will watch it. I would prefer Legacy to be its own show that gets years of runtime. If anyone in the franchise deserves it, it's Jerry Ryan. Truer facts have never been spoken, by the way. Also, Frakes better pick up his pea shooter and finally give us some Nightbird.
Yeah.
But that goes along with what we're saying, right? Like, if you do another Picard film, just fucking make it do it well. Do it so you can have at least the discussion like we had with Logan, right? Where I should have been nominated for a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for that movie. Period. Like, that movie got screwed out of a lot of awards.
Mm-hmm.
But because of its genre, it wasn't even considered.
Yeah, the fact that movie even exists is its own reward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to throw something in here, which because we're reaching the end of the outline here. Did everybody not mention this because we've all come to a silent agreement that Jonathan Frakes is going to direct this?
Oh, I mean, it's got to be Frakes, or it's got to be who directed Logan.
Oh,
Mangold.
Yeah,
Mangold.
Yep.
James, thank you.
James Mangold. I would love to see a James Mangold Star Trek film.
I feel like he's been involved in the franchise at some point.
I think that he was writing. MC, you know more about this than any of us. Didn't he write a draft or at least a treatment?
A lot of people wrote drafts
for Kelvin, and it didn't come through.
No, it was Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I would love a James Mangold Star Trek Patrick Stewart film. I mean, we already know that he could direct him really well. Oh, Yummy on Pod, you missed it. We already talked about Tarantino. And how no Tarantino.
No.
I was gonna say something in the chat, but then I realized I might get booted out for it. But it's basically fuck that motherfucker Tarantino.
I mean, that's fair. I listen, I love Pulp Fiction, I love Inglourious Bastards, but still, I get it.
I heard his pitch for the Star Trek 4. Fuck it.
Yep.
Duet, this is next week's episode.
This is next week's episode. That's right. Yep. Giraffe, I think, will be here for this one. That'll be fun. Who wants to read the final one? Because this outline was all out of order. Let's read Wayner's. Who wants it?
I can take that one. So what Wayner wants, I'm happy with the way season 3 ended, but if there's going to be a Picard movie, how about the return to the Delta Quadrant? We need Captain 7. We would need Captain 7 because she knows the lay of the land. Maybe Captain Kim's ship, the Voyager A, on the mission 2. Cameos from Admiral Janeway while her emergency command hologram is being programmed. That's the only way she's going back out there. It's been almost 30 years. Maybe Species 8472 has decided to launch an attack, or any number of Delta Quadrant threats that don't involve the Borg.
Kazon.
Oh, God.
End us on a laugh.
I just watched the pilot again. I think there were so many of us who just it's the Kazon. Giraffe, we already covered. No more Borg. No more Borg.
Nope, we already got that out of our systems.
I mean,
if I could throw in one more want I would see out of a Picard movie.
Go for it.
A story about the Klingons and their role in the galaxy post Picard. Like, what are they up to, and who's leading the Empire? Are they the same Klingons as before, or is their society and culture changed in that? Because we see that they, it's like the end of like Deep Space Nine, and that they were trying to get rid of the corruption in the council.
Worf literally put the robes on Martok.
Yeah,
it would give us a reason to bring Martok in, and I'm always here for Martok.
Yeah. I mean, that would be amazing. Like, see him like leading, having led the Klingon Empire for 30 years. Maybe like Picard, some sort of like, callback to like when he was the arbiter of succession and that. Maybe he gets called in for something like that again.
Jean-Luc Picard has played as much of an important role in Klingon politics as Spock. He shaped the TNG era's empire, basically, both with its corruption, its new. Basically, he put Gowron on the throne. It's a great movie.
To be fair, I think Sisko did a lot of heavy lifting in terms of 24th century Klingon politics.
He did. I would still say that it's not every day the chancellor of the High Council calls somebody from the Federation to be the arbiter of succession, right? Like,
fair enough.
That's a big deal. And correct me if I'm wrong. Does that not come after the episode where Sarek mind melds with Jean-Luc and gives him his Katra, and like how Jean-Luc dealt with that whole situation as well?
That's a hot question.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to remember the order here in that, but I want to say yes, that came after the mind meld. Yeah.
I mean, but MC absolutely right too. Like, Sisko is very important, but so is Worf. Like, Worf,
Yeah, you were saying who literally put Gowron on the throne? Well, putting a bat lift into Duras's chest kind of did that.
But
too.
Gowron was always going to win that I guess
Yes.
that election. Not that it was an election, but you know what I mean. I love your idea, Hawk. I really do. I would. I mean, listen, we're not apparently getting Klingons in Disco, so yeah, let's see more Klingons. I just want to go back to. Do I even remember at this point? Where were we with Wainers? If we're gonna do the opposite of like a Picard centric like James Mangold type of story, if we're gonna do an all out action story, I think the Delta Quadrant is the way to go. There's so much you could do there. You could bring the Krenim Imperium back and do a time story. You could do Species 847 God, I mean, the Kazon are kind of boring. We could figure out exactly how Jean-Luc and Worf had dealings with the Hirogen, because that's canon during the bar meeting. Yeah, there's ways to go. So,
though I do have to say, on Wayner's, and I know this is, going all the way back to the beginning with my wants, saying that I want a 24th century movie. It does sound, Wayner, that you want a Voyager movie, which fucking here for. I want a Voyager movie too. I think it's different, like doing like an entire 24th century movie, but doing a Picard movie and then just backdoor piloting it as Voyager, I think does a disservice to both Picard and the Voyager crew. So like, yeah, let's just Voyager movie now. Yep. I will take that. Yeah. I'm contradicting myself all over the place.
I think we've done a lot of that tonight. Giraffe's asking, how do we know there's no Klingons in Discovery? I mean, Giraffe, you talk about this all the time. We just haven't seen one yet. They're there.
There's just they're so afraid to go.
Did the Empire finally just fall?
I think Giraffe is thinking that you know something about the next season.
Oh, I know nothing. Like legitimately, like we sometimes hint if we know something. We know nothing. Nothing at all. I wish I knew something.
Yeah.
So.
If anybody knows anything, tell us.
Please.
AstrangeNewPod@gmail.com.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there could be Klingons in Discovery Season 5.
@MCFrotus@twitter.com.
Yeah, there you go. Do we have anything else? I think we did it. I think we covered this pretty damn well. There are a lot of good wants and a lot of good don't wants that turned into more wants, which is the whole point of this. So I'm happy.
Big, long rant from me right in the middle.
A good rant.
I think that was one of my most epic rants.
I think it was. I would agree with that. If you know, and if you didn't tell me, we're going to have to talk, Julian. Giraffe, you are more likely to know something than I am.
I was too polite to say it.
No, I'm straight up saying it. So.
Yeah, Giraffe, you got your Romulan spy network.
Yeah, man, you got the whole Tal Shiar ahead of you.
Come on.
Mind damn it, yo, hey, what? Tara.
Oh, Tara's
the limerick.
There's a limerick?
Wait, you said there was a limerick, right? To be read at the end?
No.
Oh, okay.
Limerick. Are we missing something, Tara? Let us know. Just straight up say it in the chat, otherwise we're gonna go.
I mean, we can vamp for like a couple of minutes, like when we
minute. We talked about no Borg.
My mailbag.
Yeah, I wrote no Borg. You said no Borg. That was your mailbag, right? I'm so confused. Yeah, we talked about that already.
Yeah.
We talked about that at the top, like in the middle of the show. Yeah. I'm very confused. Anywho, that'll be edited out. I think that's it. Okay, she says her mailbag. I see a mailbag. I'm very confused. I don't know. We're gonna. Seriously? Are you guys in the Discord? Am I missing something? I don't think I am. Right? No Borg.
We talked about no Borg. That was Tara's message.
Yep. Maybe other pissed off changelings. I think that was the one thing that we missed, but. No, Tara. Okay. Tara, we will talk at the end of the show. We weren't reading all of these verbatim, because that's not the point of this episode. We're gonna call it. I think we did it all. I think we did good. Is everybody good? Yeah.
I'm exhausted now.
I am exhausted too. Okay. We're not done. We're not done. We're doing another one of these. We're doing Kelvin next week. Because
if you thought I was mouthy in this episode.
Oh.
Because we have to, because apparently they're doing a fucking prequel to the Kelvin movies, which is, everybody say it together, Enterprise, right?
But then also they're still saying that they're simultaneously doing Kelvin 4, and I'm just going to say, quit playing games with my heart. We're leaving now.
We're leaving now. Part 2 of this Wants and Don't Want series is next week. It is going to be awesome. MC is going to probably just take over that entire show, as she should. So...
I mean, Giraffe might be here too, so.
Well, I mean, the two of you can just do it, and Hawk and I and Eric will just watch and awe. That's gonna do it for Hawk, for MC, for me, your host, Julian. Live long and prosper. Majram, sarcastic Vulcan salute. Good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.